Fraser, as we can see here. The police really was present this year and did a lot of breast testing. I had a quick chat with the officer and explained our dingo encounter, and he said he would send national parks up to us. One thing before we start. My YouTube channel is completely self-funded and it takes considerable time and effort to create these videos for you. So please help me to grow and continue making these for you by sharing, liking, and if you can afford it, please head over to Patreon and become one of my Patreon supporters. With the equivalent of a cup of coffee or maybe even a few cups of coffee per month, you can really help me to remain independent and create these videos for you. So let's get into it. Gonna have a Radix today, quick and easy, because I just had all my stuff out to cook, but then it started raining, it stopped again. I just don't want to be caught out, and if you have a look what's brewing there, I think we gotta have rain very soon. Well guys, it's absolutely soaked here. The storm has hit, that's for sure. I forgot my sidewall. I have a sidewall for this, and that would extend it. At the moment it's not, it's just a bit too short for the stretcher. So we had to move that a bit around here. I made a bit of a boo-boo yesterday. When we drove around to Eli Creek and to the Maheno, I obviously had to put my awning in, and I left my stretcher outside but didn't pack the ends down. While we were away it started raining and water pooled on the stretcher and really stretched that fly to the max. So with the heavy wind and rain blown under the awning, that means the water started pooling and I couldn't really sleep. So I had to find a solution for that. Absolutely crazy. And I can't really sit in the car because my stretcher pools. And I gotta lift that up here. Otherwise the water starts pooling in here. Put 2 poles in from the Ostend. So hopefully that will work. Still raining as nuts in the stretcher though. See how that goes. I think the next lull I put my sleeping bag and so on in the car, because I reckon that will get wet. I also forgot I let my air mattress down because we were supposed to pack in and I totally forgot. So I'm on a empty air mattress, no air in it. At the moment if I go out I could be completely soaked again, so I guess I will wait a little bit. Hopefully there's another lull and then pump up the air mattress. Was a little bit of an interesting night. All my stuff is wet. I just hung that up there from last night. Stayed reasonably dry then, but for a while it wasn't too pretty, that's for sure. Stopped then probably after I reckon 2 hours of rain. Calmed down and then just had a little bit of dribble, that was alright. And the 2 poles I put under the tent certainly did work. So let's see what Scotty does. Good sleep?
Yeah.
Did you?
Right?
Eventually.
Yeah.
Bit wet initially, then I realized last night I let my mattress down, last morning, because I thought we're leaving. So I jumped in the tent in that lull, in the stretcher, and the mattress wasn't inflated, but anyway. The March and horseflies were our constant companion, and we must have killed hundreds and hundreds.
When did this happen, this big guy come around?
2 nights ago. I mean, Scotty was really, I was in my stretcher, he was out taking astro pictures. It was, 1 o'clock at night?
Yeah, something like that. So it's about, what, the 10th?
Yeah.
10th of February?
Yeah. Oh, it's good. The rangers came out within a day here to take a report in regards to a dingo, which is greatly appreciated.
1 o'clock in the morning, you said?
Yeah. We are on our way again to Winya through the inland tracks here. I hope there will be a bit less midges than we had on the other parts of the west coast for Scotty's sake, because we still don't know how they got into his swag. So yeah, keep in mind when you drive these inland tracks, some of them are one way, and that's indicated on the map. So one way, obviously, no big deal, no oncoming traffic. But a lot of the tracks are two way, and in many parts they are very narrow, they are curvy, so it pays not to fly around corners to really not have a full-on collision with another vehicle coming towards you. Some of the tracks also can be pretty rough, so suspension certainly does help there. Otherwise you have to take it fairly slow. So if you have faster vehicles behind you, be nice, pull over, let them pass. So I'm looking forward to Winya though, one of my favorite spots, that's for sure. The rainforest is just amazing here on Fraser. And in some parts you really have some very old trees still. Parts which haven't been logged. It's yeah, quite stunning. Lake Alum is one of the many small lakes on Fraser Island. It's a little bit tucked away, but well worth a visit if you don't mind the short walk down. It is the best location on Fraser to see freshwater turtles. Like quite a few inland locations, the cicadas going absolutely nuts here and are super loud. Yeah, very little water in the lake. Usually the steps here are underwater. Still have video footage of that. So the water levels has dropped by, I don't know, a meter or so. See a few more turtles there. Yeah, the bush barrier panel protection gets a bit of a workout here. There are some pretty brushy, tight patches. Not as bad as on the road to Moon Point.
I don't know what track around here, bro. I don't
still.
think this is the right one. Yeah, okay, this will take us out the Moon Point.
Yeah, that looked like the Moon Point track. Okay, I turn around there. Yeah, wrong track. That's why it was very overgrown. That's a track to Moon Point. I'd driven that last time. It is just badly overgrown. To get to Winya, you have to do water crossing, and the tide was against us, so we decided to go to Worley. We just at Worley Creek. I don't think I've been here before. One of the few spots really new to me on Fraser. To be honest, after this trip, I don't think there is much left. High tide. Not much left of the beach. That is Worley Creek, I guess. You've been here before, Scotty?
Yeah, mate.
Yeah.
It's nice. Good swimming hole.
A nice little beach. You have Worley Creek on one side and then the ocean on the other. I set the Foxwing now up because we're expecting definitely a bit more rain. I don't want to have a night like last night. However, fairly painful with one sidewall. I don't know, it took me now 20 minutes or so. To be fair, I don't set it up that often. But yeah, it was also all wet, even though I hadn't used it. It's all wet inside. So yeah, that drifter cover I have on, it certainly is not waterproof, that's for sure. On the way back now, I'm going to pick up another Super Pack awning, the 270, which will replace the Foxwing. Yeah, it's too much pain. I hardly ever put it up because it is so much effort. And one thing I also hate here is these straps here constantly get caught in the door. There is just no Velcro. There's nothing where you could wrap I guess I can put a couple of loops in or so, but it constantly gets pretty much caught in the door, which is super annoying. Yeah, I don't know. I hope that the super bag will be better. I know that Scotty has it, so, and it will be much quicker to set up. So bye bye Foxwing, really. How are the midges treating you?
Yeah, alright. Haven't been bitten here, no flies. Haven't had a midgie yet.
Wally Creek is just amazing. If you love the West Coast and you can put up with the associated critters, this spot is paradise and my absolutely new favorite spot on Fraser, no doubt about it. We pretty much spent the whole day around the water, either swimming in the ocean or swimming in Wally Creek. It was just an absolute paradise. Someone had rigged up a rope swing and we certainly made use of that. While there were very few sandflies, the marsh and horseflies were at plague proportions in the morning and in the evening, and they had a pretty nasty bite. Even the 40% DET did not really deter them from biting you. In a half an hour time span, we must have easily killed 60 to 70 marsh flies each. As I saw on earlier trips, the cane toad unfortunately made it also to Fraser Island, and they were also present here at Wally Creek. Yeah, we had a pretty good night's sleep. It started raining a fair bit, but not for too long, so that was alright. My setup held up quite well. So sun is up now. Looks like a pretty beautiful day. Time for a swim soon. Not sure how Scotty slept. You're already in desert mode.
Yeah, little black flies this morning.
Yeah?
Yeah, got up a while ago, and they were just hanging around the back of my head for some reason, so. And now the big ones are coming out to play.
I stepped out of that tent, and I'm not lying, the first foot is on the floor, and I have that first marsh fly on my on my foot. And you kept dry?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, good. You?
Oh, yeah, you have a few flies. It's not desert standards, but it's alright.
You keep dry?
Huh?
You keep dry?
Yeah, I work well.
Yeah. Beautiful.
A while ago, Drifter provided me some of their sand packs to test, which really didn't have too much of a chance because I haven't had many awnings up. But with the rain we had here, I needed every available pack. So that are screw-in packs, and yeah, they work pretty well. We had some reasonable wind, and yeah, they look pretty good. I've got also here, I don't know where I got them, probably BCF hammer in pack. They go in a bit quicker if you have a hammer, obviously. Without a hammer, yeah, even in sand here, that's not that easy to get them deep in. So that's where the screw-in packs probably excel, because you don't obviously need a hammer. It's obviously a bit hard to see during daylight now, but that Drifter tent pack kit also came with these fluorescent guy ropes, and they actually make a big difference if there's any little light. So there's no way you're going to stumble over them, even with the moon, versus a normal Oz tent. which, okay, they're fluorescent, but they're not reflective. And yeah, you certainly miss them. So I'm wondering that really, I reckon every guy rope should be like that. Another little tip, I just took off here the wet sidewall from the Foxwing. We're not going to wait today until that's all dry. So what I always carry is a wet bag, and that's also where my fly goes in from the stretcher tent, and the wet stuff now goes into that. That means I can put it in the car, nothing else gets wet. So I find that very, very handy, especially if you pack in early mornings and you're on the move. It's the end of our beautiful camp spot. I certainly realized why I haven't used the Foxwing very often, because to pack in it is just very time consuming, put it like that. Everything goes into different bags, and the poles are extra, and yeah, anyway, it took me, I don't know, quite a bit longer than Scotty there. We just had the last swim at Worley or Worley, I'm not sure, creek, and I really miss that place. Absolutely beautiful, and off to new things. As the tide was with us, we decided to quickly head over to Borley Creek, which is the last campground on Fraser Island I hadn't seen. Borley Creek is only accessible via the beach and at low tide. Make sure you time the tides correctly, as the water comes up to the dunes and leaves no room if you're caught in the middle. You will need to cross Borley Creek before you can reach the campground, and as always, take care there. In our case here, it wasn't very deep, but if you want to camp a little bit inland, you will have to cross the creek a bit higher up, and we didn't check the water depths. It looks doable, but it certainly is much deeper than here where we crossed.
That's gonna look sick! Woohoo! This is the normal filming life, running around, trying to save on a bit of data and battery, of course. Oh, what a morning. Absolutely killer. West Coast, beautiful.
The weather can change quickly here. We left at blue sky and sunshine, and around Moon Point then had some pretty decent rain again. However, the rain didn't last too long, and after a short while we were greeted again by sunshine and beautiful weather. The big storms the days before had caused some havoc, and we saw the remnants of that on the tracks. Yeah, on our way to Kingfisher, and road closed. Except for the tree. That means a long detour. All the way back to the beach. That's not good. Yeah, that's pretty freshly cut. Must have been the storm from 2 nights ago. Eli Creek, place to check that before you drive through. This is the end of part 3 of our epic Fraser adventure. Thanks a lot for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and possibly even support me at Patreon to help me making these videos. In the next episode, we discover a more luxurious part of Fraser Island I hadn't experienced before. We're staying for 2 nights at the Kingfisher Bay Resort and attend some of their amazing experiences. After that, we explore some more amazing places, have nearly both a front-on collision with a erratic driver on the beach. I'm not following my own advice, and as a result of that, damage my car, and we need to cut the trip short.